Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Zach, and here we talk about overlanding in tech. And today we're doing a low beam install. I presume you guys anticipated this coming, but LASFIT sent me their low beams at a discounted price, and I had to jump on that right away because I've absolutely loved my fog light replacement. So once they said, hey, would you be interested in doing a review on our low beams, I jumped on that right away. So today we're going to be installing these low beams. They're called the LASFIT Pro, and they're their newest technology in LED low beams. So the boxing is very similar to the other one. Basically, we're just going to have some instructions, some stickers, and then the lights themselves. Now, these are a little bit different than the low beams because they have a higher output and power usage, so they have more cooling involved. And if you notice in the truck, we've got a dust cap that covers the housing for the low beam. So these are going to be slightly different to install, but still not too bad. So we have a fan that's on the back of the low beam itself, and then we also have another fan that's built right into the dust cap itself too. So, and then it also tells us that we need to make sure this is pointing downward, I believe for airflow reasons. So with that being said, what we're basically going to do is we're going to start taking out the old bulbs and putting in the new bulbs. This should be pretty quick because I don't need to lay under the car like the fog light install. I basically just have to get at this gray cap here and pull out the other bulbs. So with that being said, let's just jump right in. I think that's basically all that's in the box, and we can start the install. So I'm going to try and stay out of the camera's way, but basically we need to just rotate this lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. That pops right off, and there's just like a rubber seal on this. And this is the dust cap that I was referring to. So we're not going to be needing this because we've got a new dust cap we're going to put on. So when we put the light bulb in, this dust cap is going to go in that spot. So now that we got that dust cap removed, if you can see, there's this little clip on the outside of the light. So right here, I just lifted up this little teeny tab, and that's how you can unplug this, and then the plug-in just pops right backwards. So fairly simple. And then our light bulb should just rotate. If you look in there, I've rotated this light bulb so that it's now sticking straight in this direction, and then we can pull it out. So basically we pushed it straight in, and then it rotated down, and it was like at an angle. So we're gonna try and do a similar thing with this light. So let's take our old bulb here, and this is what it looked like when we pulled it out. And then we rotated it down, and it was at like an angle. We're basically going to do the same exact thing. So this LASFIT is going to be borderline level once we're all said and done. And when you look on the inside here, so here's how it was, and then here would it be rotated. If we spin that around, that makes sense because we've got a tab here and a tab here, and we've got a tab here and a tab here. So when they're rotated like this, and then we rotate them down, that should check out just fine. So that sounds good. Let's go ahead and try and put this in there. Okay, so before we put this in, just make sure you remove this like LED cover. And if we wanted to, I think we could remove this dust cap, but I'm just gonna hold it in my hand. There we go. Okay, let's see if I can get a little bit better light in here. So now if you see this, the top flat part of the fan is about as level as we're gonna get it, and then there's that plug right next to it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna route this cable around the fan somewhere so that it's not really blocking our fan on the light itself. And then we'll plug in this dust cap using this right here to the factory plug-in. So yeah, it's a plug-and-play system. So let's try and do that, and I will do my best without blocking your view. So, all right, I have a confession to make. They were way less bright on the passenger side, and I was like, that's kind of weird. And then I was looking at the little notches on here, and this is larger than these other two, so they are proprietary, and that's how you can figure out how to put these in with the correct orientation. And then I started looking a little closer, and I realized that on the back by the fan it says passenger and driver. And I realized I had installed the driver's one on the passenger side, and so I think it wasn't reflecting in the lens properly in the low beam, and so it didn't look that great. And I was like, wow, that's really not that bright. So I started looking around, and basically the same procedure is going to occur here. I just have to put in a different bulb. So I put in the driver's side already because I had to take this one out and put it in over there. It's incredibly hard to film because the battery's sort of in the way. So if I was in your shoes, I'd probably take the battery out, but I was feeling kind of lazy and didn't want to take the extra time. So I left the battery in, and now I'm just putting in the passenger one. So let's see if we can get this in here fairly fast. Bad news, it doesn't actually fit. The radiator on the cooling needs some more space. We got it. There we go. We are all tightened down. Match up the red wire with the negative side and plug it in. Whew. All right. Orient our dust cap appropriately. Make sure it's seated in there nice. There. All right. I think we got it. I think we did it. Holy cow. That's a tight fit. Oh yeah. They work all right. All right, so I'm just gonna do like a little light turn on just to show you what they look like during the day. I'll do it again at night just to show, but also I think my truck is slightly leaning to the left, hence the non-level lights, but it's not bad. You can hear the fans running with the car off, but I think once you turn the car on, you definitely won't be able to hear those fans running. So, man, I'm super stoked to have all matching temperature lights. There's the yellows, whites, yellow, whites. All right, perfect. Well, that installs a wrap. Let's do a little bit of light comparison at night. So here's a little side-by-side comparison of the stock lights versus my new LASFIT low beams and fog lights. And the one thing I noticed right off the bat is my fog lights are a little bit misaligned because I recently was switching out my bumper, which I'm going to talk about in a future video. So don't worry, I'm going to correct that. I just noticed that when I was shooting this footage. But I do want to say that these fog lights and low beams have been performing incredibly, and people constantly are flashing their high beams at me, telling me that I need to turn off my brights when in fact these are just my low beams. I will say that the fog lights do throw a lot of light, which probably is a little bit brighter and not as focused compared to the low beams. If you made it this far through the video, thank you so much for watching my content. It means the world that many of you are willing to watch all my videos all the way through. If you want to see more content like this and you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Like this video because it really helps my channel grow. And if you're really wanting to know more about some of the intricacies of my builds, I'm going to start posting walkthrough PDFs and some tutorial videos on my Patreon, so check that also out down below. So again, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.